because mobile marketing tends to be one of the newest media in direct response, we tend to start off by explaining to clients exactly what it is. So the best way we do that is to define 6 categories that traditionally are the most widely used within mobile. So it's probably worth talking about those just to give you a flavour. So the first is interactivity, which broadly means voting competitions, the types of things that we see on TV all of the time, where consumers are entering competitions or entering votes and using their mobile to do it. Very big, I'm sure we're all aware of it, and it uses the virtue of mobile that it's always with you and always on, so therefore it's a very important way of interacting with audiences. And although this tends to be revenue generating, it's also used largely by media companies wishing to keep their audiences interacting, so newspapers, magazines, TV companies and radio stations tend to use it. The second area is content, and by content we mean things like ringtones and wallpapers and information alerts, all the types of services that are downloaded to a handset. Again, very popular, particularly with ringtones, and a lot of those are paid services, so the consumer pays on their mobile bill for those services, and again that's a very big area within mobile. The third area is a more traditional version of sales promotion. So again, when we've bought bars of chocolate or when we've bought items from the supermarket with competitions on pack, one of the methods of entry will often be a mobile promotion, so you'll be entering a competition and texting in a word to a short code. And again, this is very big. There have been some enormous promotions on particularly FMCG brands, largely again because the phone's always with you and it's always on. So if you're in the supermarket and you pick up a bag of crisps and you want to enter a competition, you can do it there and then on the mobile. So sales promotion is a very, very big area. The fourth area is direct response, and this is much closer to DMA members' core business. But there are really 3 areas that we tend to use as examples. One is direct revenue generation within that. So, for instance, a lot of charities do donation campaigns via mobile. So simply you will text in the word cancer, for instance, for one of the cancer charities, and your bill will be charged with £2 or £3 so you've made a direct donation. Another area is fulfillment. So again, you will text in a word to a number, and that will generate a brochure being sent to you, or it will generate a callback. So again, it's this fairly traditional direct response, but using the mobile. And again, sorry to repeat myself, but that virtue of always on, always with you. So we find with a lot of direct response, it's added to posters or off the page to give the consumer a way of responding right there and then, immediately. The fifth area is mobile advertising. This is much newer and means many things to many people, but broadly speaking, we put it into 3 categories. The first is mobile internet advertising. So the growth of mobile internet, which has been extraordinary, basically means that all of us are looking at mobile internet sites in the way that we look at computer internet sites. And the logic of that, of course, is that advertising in terms of banners or text links start to appear. And the growth of mobile advertising in the last couple of years has been extraordinary as the audiences for mobile internet usage have increased. So that's one area that's growing. A second area where the jury's a little more out is mobile TV. Mobile TV itself is growing. More and more people are taking it up. The logical extension, of course, is if we're watching TV on our mobile, we're going to watch ads on TV on our mobile, and that's a growing area, but one of the newer areas, really. And the third area of mobile advertising is a much more straightforward one, which is adding tagged pieces of information to a text alert. So the best example of this is one of the directory inquiry services, where you can ask for information to be delivered to your mobile rather than over the phone. So if I ask for a taxi company in Battersea or whatever, I get the information back to my mobile, but it will be tagged with an additional piece of information from a related advertiser. So all 3 of those are aspects of mobile advertising, and probably within the mobile community, advertising is probably the biggest discussion point at the moment, because as the audience grows, there are more and more opportunities. And the 6th and final category in our definition, we tend to call customer service and CRM, largely because it's a much broader category. I'll give you a couple of examples. Probably one of the best known is a couponing campaign called Orange Wednesdays, where Orange customers are able to get 2 cinema tickets for the price of 1. And that's a great example of CRM because, in effect, the consumer texts in a claim, receives back a code, takes it to the cinema, shows the code, it's scanned, and they get their 2 tickets for the price of 1. So it's a great example of mobile couponing, but of course it's really a CRM application. It's there to make Orange customers stay Orange customers because it gives them an added value service. So that's one of the best known, but then at the other end of the spectrum is a public service application called Cabwise, which enables people late at night when they've come out of a club and they want to get a cab, but they don't want to get a cab that's just around on the street for all of the obvious risks. Cabwise enables them to text in where they are and be sent the information for a reputable licensed local cab. The initial application was sponsored by the Mayor of London. It's been hugely successful in London in reducing sexual assaults and just in general making people feel safer. So Cabwise is a great example of, if you like, a public service using mobile. And again, it makes perfect sense that you would use mobile because it's going to be with you when you hit the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning after you've left the club. So there's 2 examples, and another one which most of us are aware of is mobile banking. So now if you want to know your account balance at any time, you can get that texted to your phone. So that's 3 examples of what we generally call customer service and CRM, which is a much broader category and the final of our 6 general categories.